Hi guys, it's Lucy and you read the title correctly. Today I'm going to be doing my September wrap-up, not my October wrap-up that will be coming eventually. So this is technically the second half of September wrap-up because the first half was included in my Reading Quest wrap-up, which I did a while ago. So if you want to know about the books that I read in the second half of August and the first half of September, then check out that video. But yeah, these are just the books that I read after the Reading Quest, and I have 4 of them to talk about with you guys today, so let's just get into the video. First I have I Hate Everyone But You by Gaby, Dunn, and Alison Raskin. I started this for the Reading Quest and I finished it after, hence it's in this wrap-up. This is a book which is told in like mixed media, mostly text messages and emails, about 2 girls who are best friends, and then it follows them during their first semester of their freshman year of college, and they end up going to 2 different schools on opposite ends of the country. So one girl is in California and the other is in Boston, I want to say, and it just chronicles their friendship, like the trials and tribulations of like what's it like going into your first year of college, being separated from your friend, like long distance friendships. As a disclaimer, I received this book on NetGalley in exchange for an honest review, and I was going to do a full video review. I still might. I ended up giving this 4 stars. I ended up really enjoying it. I was a little wary going in because I do watch the authors on their YouTube channel. If you don't know, they run a pretty successful YouTube channel, I think. I really enjoyed. Then they wrote this YA book, and I was a little wary because YouTubers who write books who aren't originally authors don't always end up the best. But I don't know, this delivered. The humor is pretty similar to their YouTube channel, so if you are a fan of their channel, then I think you will enjoy this. The biggest problem that I felt that it had was that the writing felt a little bit preachy and sometimes stilted. Their humor is kind of a deadpan kind of humor, so I feel like that's where that's coming from, but I feel like if you don't know them, then you might not read it that way, and it might just be kind of off-putting, so a warning. But other than that, I really enjoyed reading about these 2 characters' friendship. One of them comes from like a screenwriting background, so I can see that aspect in it, especially in the format that it's written in, which is, as I mentioned before, is text messages and emails mostly that they're exchanging. I personally enjoyed that format. I do tend to enjoy alternative formats though. I will say that I don't think the side characters were as developed as they could have been, but I think that's mostly due to the format, which doesn't really give a lot of area to explore them as much as another type of format might. But overall, I did have fun reading this. I enjoyed the humor, and I would recommend it if you're looking for a fun, diverse read, as both main characters are Jewish, and one main character has a mental illness, specifically OCD, and the other main character identifies as queer, and that aspect is explored a lot. I also think you might enjoy this if you enjoyed the TTYL series, I think it was called, back in the day. Next, I read The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I listened to the audiobook version on LibriVox, which was read by Mark F. Smith, in case you also wanted to listen to the one I listened to. This so far has been my favorite of the Sherlock Holmes stories. I've read the first 2. I'm trying to read them in chronological order over like the next couple years, I guess. I ended up giving this 4 stars. The other 2 books got 3 to 3.5 stars, so there's definitely an improvement. My biggest gripe with the first 2 is that because they're complete novels, that the story just felt so long and drawn out. But this one, it contains a bunch of short stories, which I think works better for the type of mystery that is going on. And so it just didn't feel as long and drawn out because they couldn't be, because they were just short stories. Seriously, I'm Kidding by Ellen Degeneres. This is her second memoir, I think, or like second book, I think. Or maybe this is the first one. No, I think this is the second one. I gave this 3.5 stars. I listened to the audiobook, which was read by Ellen herself. I ended up enjoying the first half of the book, and then the second half I think just went completely downhill for me, which is why I got 3.5 stars and not 4 stars. It kind of felt that Ellen wrote the first half of the book and then realized that she couldn't have a book that was only 100 pages, and then just like threw whatever she felt like into the second half of the book, because the first half of the book kind of had a little more details of her life and like advice and things, and the second half just felt like more like whatever funny stuff she thought she could come up with. And while I do enjoy Ellen's sense of humor, it felt too random and like silly for me. If you like listening to celebrity memoirs, this is a really short one. I think the audiobook is like 3 hours long. It was like so short. I did not realize it was going to be so short. And last but not least, I read I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. This is a book that was really popular on BookTube a while ago. Like when I first got on BookTube, I kept hearing it over and over, and so I bought it, and then it just sat on my shelf for years, and finally I decided to pick it up after my, try a chapter tag, where I tried a bunch of books, and doing that tag really made me want to read it. So I brought it here and I actually read it, so go me. And I ended up really liking it a lot. I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed the writing style, which I recognize may not be for everyone. It is definitely closer to what they call purple prose. It's very metaphorical. This is about a brother and a sister who are twins, and we follow the male twin, Noah, story from the past, and then something happens. We follow the girl twin, Jude's story, which is set a little bit in the future, and in between like their stories, something happens that kind of separates them, so they're not as close as they used to be. And so I really enjoyed both their chapters actually. I like Noah's chapters writing a little better because those tended to be more metaphorical in my opinion, but I think I like Jude's chapters because it felt more like the plot was going on since it was set in present day. But Noah's chapters kind of made you want to keep reading so you could find out what happened that made them separate. But like I said, I don't think the writing style is for everyone. I liked the dual perspective. I like being able to read from both their perspectives. I actually liked it so much that I wish that we had a little more of it. The chapters in this book are pretty long, so you end up staying with one character for a while. And I kind of thought it would have been better if we got more jumping around. But overall, I really enjoyed this. This is definitely not a lighthearted read. It deals with some tough topics. Trigger warnings for death mentioned. Both of the characters are artists, and there's a lot of descriptions of artwork and how it feels for them to draw or sculpt or whatever they're doing, and I really appreciated those. It made me want to draw, you know, I love when descriptions do that, like it makes me want to take part in the main characters' like hobbies and stuff. And yeah, so I would recommend this book if you like metaphorical writing, sad subjects, reading about twins. Those are the books that I read in the rest of September. My October wrap-up will be coming. I don't want to say soon because that sounds like a promise. And the way my filming has been happening, like, it'll happen eventually. If you have read any of these books, please let me know in the comments down below. Let me know about your favorite book that you read in September. Also in the comments, if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make more videos where I talk about books. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!